So I will get this ready.
So this morning we have a great speaker. What could be better than to talk about chocolate right before Valentine's Day? And so we have Elissa Verdillo from Cacao Cocoon Chocolate. She's been making chocolate for 12 years, and she learned her craft in Central America and Southern Mexico. Her craft is steeped in the traditions and culture of the original chocolatiers, the Maya. And the union of cacao and honey is one of her unique characteristics of her chocolate. She moved to Arcata in 2010 and started to create her business, Cacao Cocoon Chocolate. She and her partner, Zach, continued to perfect her recipes, built the business, and raised 3 daughters. And she distributes her chocolate locally and has been offering at the Eureka Friday Night Market. Elissa and her daughter, Solstice.
Hi, thank you so much for bringing us here today, Karen. I appreciate all the outreach you've done to find us and give me this opportunity. So once again, my name is Elissa Verdillo, and I'm from Cacao Cocoon Chocolate. I am the owner and founder of this business. Here is our brand, so you can have a little show of that. We do have a slogan. It's not only Cacao Cocoon Chocolate, but it's a silky honey spun chocolate. So in saying that, we will give you a taste today, and maybe play a little interactive game if we have time. And it's true, one taste will transform. So this is the beginning of my experience with cacao. This is Solstice when she was a little baby. Solstice's father is from Palenque, Chiapas, Mexico, and he has thick Mayan roots from the jungle. So this is Solstice's first experience, and mine as well, with what cacao was and is. Her abuela came to us from Palenque. We were living on the Caribbean, and she came to visit us and brought us some cacao pods. And I thought, wow, what an amazing gift. So we opened up the cacao and had a taste, and we're delighted to know that cacao is actually bittersweet from the start. And it's kind of what life is for us too. It's bittersweet to get real. There's the sweetness, but then there's the bitterness of life that we all experience. But the sweetness is where it's at. So here we are, there's little Solstice and me, and maybe 20 years younger there. And this is Palenque, Chiapas, where her family come from. It's the jungle. If you're not familiar, Chiapas is the southernmost state in Mexico, so it's bordering Guatemala. Maybe 200 years ago, it actually was Guatemala. These are the markets that we experienced. And this chocolate right over here, this star, I was able to find a cacao, not even a cacao mold, it was a cupcake mold that I found in searching in the markets, because it's very hard to find supplies sometimes down there. And I found this beautiful star, and me having a Jewish lineage, I thought, hey, this is kind of a beautiful aspect of life for me and my heritage. So I'm gonna make this chocolate and put it in these molds. And we walked around with Solstice on my back and her papa, and with baskets in San Cristobal and Palenque selling our chocolate, door to door, hand to hand, trying to make, 10 pesos to 100 pesos a day, which is $1 to $10. So that was our lifestyle back then. That's where we started. And then we came to Humboldt County, and we said, let's go for our little journey. Let's experience life in a different way. It was hard in Palenque. Like I said, $1 to $10 a day wasn't much to survive on. And having a child and coming and being born from the United States in a privileged way, I thought, okay, how can I make more for my daughter? How can our business grow and I send something with her for her future? So we came here and we became friends with the most kindest community members. Y'all are amazing. And started having some fun. And I actually started by investing in a cleaning company. I started cleaning people's houses and saving money here and there and putting it aside, and then invested in hundreds of pounds of cacao. And started, experimenting more and feeding all the kids. So these are our humble beginnings. I started by just making my own menus and going around and finding people that were interested in chocolate and offering our chocolate at parties, and then eventually getting in stores. And this was our first branding, both of them in stores, and we eventually came to find a local kitchen through Casa Lindra, who we love. We love that facility. Ascoli Pasta's over there, the Wildflower Cafe, Nonolina's, and they're a really amazing community, family. It's beautiful. And here I am, that's in the co-op. Started doing some demos and sharing our chocolate. Everybody would come up and just melt, and taste it and literally melt with me and want to hear more about our experience and why we were sharing cacao and why it was important to us. Cacao is a heart food. It's very healing, and many people have said in the past that it's what brings people together. If you look at the DNA of cacao, it's very similar to the human body. Actually, the chemical makeup is very long and complex, pages and pages and pages. So we are very similar. We have a connection. So with all this lovely space here and land in Humboldt County, and the Humboldt Beekeepers Association is so strong here, we decided to become beekeepers. In Mexico, I would source our honey from the Zapatistas, excuse me, and we would do trades. They would bring me their honey, and I would trade them money. So here in Humboldt County, I thought, this is a great opportunity for me to know what that type of lifestyle is like. Beekeeping is beautiful. I'm very allergic to bees, so it's I wouldn't say a love-hate relationship, but it's definitely a love-strengthening relationship. So this is our new rebranding after the past 12 years of just pushing the chocolate, seeing if the community was interested. We decided after 5 years to invest in a rebranding. And my second daughter was born, and we took the time after she was born to be at home, to nurture our family. We homeschooled for 6 years, Solstice, so she got to be a part of that first year of her first sister's, new coming, and help us in the household and learn and grow to such an amazing individual that she is. And my husband and I just dialed in. We did the paperwork, we designed everything from the drawing to the font to the wording, to how, the dimensions, everything, top to bottom. Not being financially, having a big capital and not having people invest in us, we put all of our time and energy into saving money, and it really paid off. We've had a great following so far, and people are coming to us from near and far to tell us how much they love our branding. So information. That's what it looks like when we put them in boxes and send them to places like Mendocino County so far. That's as far as we've gotten, besides Humboldt County. Would you like to say something?
No, I was just going to say Hawaii. We just
Oh, and this past week we just sent our first box to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting and fun experience for our family. So yes, it is a family business to the fullest. As you can see, there's 3 children there, and then my husband and I. This is us at the Friday market. Solstice likes to come into the kitchen and help us package, and Ominera just is the biggest rep we've ever had. And that is our newborn. I actually have a newborn who's only 5 months right now. So that I was up and out this morning at 6:30 a.m. is huge. Did you have a question? Oh, And the Friday market, I don't know if you've experienced that, but that's going to start running again in June. It's been amazing for our business. We work with the Humboldt Tourism Center and the Humboldt Maid Foundation, which has been absolutely fantastic in helping us. We are headed to Expo West next month, which is a huge buyer's tour. So I can't say, I have so much to say about Humboldt Maid, and I'm really happy that they're here. Our vision for the future, so when I first came to Humboldt County, I was on the beach doing yoga, enjoying life, playing with my daughter, and now I seem to do a lot less of that, which is not such a bad thing, so I get my stretches in here and there, but I would like to move forward and go backward in saying that I would like to send more chocolate out to the world, and I really am hoping for Expo West to find some new buyers and our local community members, stores, and keep pumping out the chocolate. Our business is handmade, so that takes a lot to pump out some chocolate in a day. I'm doing 80 to 160 bars a day, which is a small batch. I envision 1,000 bars a week. So keep that vision with me and we'll get there. So now it's some time for questions. If anybody has any questions, and we'll get the chocolate set up and we can do a little taste testing too. Yes?
What brought you to Humboldt?
Well, that's a very good story. When I was younger, I had a school bus, and I was from the East Coast, and I traveled through Canada and went all the way across country and ended up coming down into California, and I went to Mount Shasta, actually, and fell in love with Mount Shasta. And then I had some friends that brought me over here, and I said, wow, I'm from the East Coast. This is, the ocean is right here, but you also have the mountains and the rivers and these amazing trees. And I just fell in love with the majestic part of Humboldt County, the nature, the magic, and then also the resources. It's everything. I've been to so many places in North America, and this place is special. This is a very special place. Yes?
So I don't know how many of you know, but Cacao Cocoon participated at Taste the Holidays this year for the first time.
Thank you.
And it was really wonderful. She wasn't there because she had just had a newborn and she couldn't do it, but her husband was there. But I want to thank you so much. It was wonderful, and I'm hoping that every year for Taste the Holidays that you'll be able to participate as our other vendors do. And then we'll also be having another event coming up in the spring called Taste of Spring, which will be very similar venue. So it'd be great if you can participate in that too. But got a lot of compliments on your chocolate.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's great.
How do you actually get the honey and the chocolate to be
Yes,
together?
that's a good question. So, okay, in Palenque, I work with heat. 105 to 110 on the hottest day, where your face is really in the mud. You're trying to get some cold. So it's easy to separate the fats from the solids of cacao. And the honey is very, very, very liquidy there. It doesn't get cold and solid like it does here. So I got a lot of time to experiment and play with all of the different compositions. The cacao, the solids, the fats, the honey when it's solidified by sticking it in the fridge, and also making it liquid. A lot of people say if you go on the internet or you talk to somebody, you can't mix liquids with solids. They won't bind. Well, I said that's not true. I'm a big believer in proving people wrong. Not rub it in your face type of girl, but I knew that it was possible. The Mayans have been using cacao and honey for a long time. Not making a European confection chocolate, but there was a connection there. So after a lot of time of perfecting and working with the temper of honey and chocolate, most people use sugar, cane sugar, because it's a crystal, has a hard crystal formation. My husband, being a very, very big scholar, he got his master's at HSU in sociology. You would think, business or food or something. Is kind of a scientist, and he got in the kitchen with me, and he said, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this happen." And to be honest, it's kind of the secret of our chocolate. It's something that we've spun together, literally spun together to create a hard substance. And some people say it's magical, that it's not easy to do. Go home, get some chocolate ingredients, get some honey, and try it. You'll see. It takes a lot of time and dedication and trust, and also, if it does go wrong, you can't give up. You gotta go back to it again. Maybe I didn't answer your question completely, but it's not actually something that I can. Sure. What's your question, love?
I think you're doing great. The chocolate is, I bet it's good, but how did you first find out this business?
Well, that's amazing. Thank you for connecting Solstice here. I appreciate that. Solstice was born in Canada, in Vancouver, British Columbia, and her abuela had sent a kilo of cacao beans, and her father and I were sitting on the bed peeling cacao beans, and she was crawling at that stage, and she overheard us and picked up a cacao bean, and we looked over at her and thought she was going to stick it in her mouth, and we were nervous. And she said, "Cacao!" Just like that. And I looked at her and I said, "Wow, she's telling us something." So that's how we started. We listened to our children.
I'll tell you how a little bit more, but we're going to do a couple things real quick. So, one, because you spoke for us, we gave you a donation to the Wheelchair Foundation. Thank you. And I'm going to finish one little bit of the meeting, and then you can do a taste. Is that what you were going to do? Because I see that you put a bunch of chocolate out.
Definitely.
So, after I ring the bell, you have to stay to get chocolate. Word? That work? All right. So awesome. Thank you. Just 1 second.